Assistant Professor, Department of AML, Aditya University. In the today's lecture, we are going to discuss regarding phased development life cycle. So let us start with the today's session. At the end of this lecture, a student will be able to define the phased development life cycle. So, phased development life cycle. What does a phased development life cycle deals with? First point, the phased development life cycle in software engineering refers to structured approach where the software development is broken down into distinct sequential phases with each specific goals and deliverables. So, what does the software development life cycle deals with? So, this software development life cycle in the software engineering refers to structured approach where the software development is broken down into distinct sequential phases, each with specific goals and deliverables. So, refers to the structured approach. So, structured approach in the sense it is having a proper format. So, structured, unstructured. So, structured in the sense which is having a designated definition. So, it is in a systematic way. So, a structure which is having a sequence where the software development is broken down into distinct sequential phases, each with specific goals and deliverables. So, distinct sequential phases in the sense, so what does a sequence indicates? So, sequence indicates a step-by-step action or else a linear process. So, which happens one phase after another phase, each with specific goal and deliverable. So, what does this point mean by is every point or else every phase what we are discussing will be having every end point. So, that means a specific goal. So, every action what we are doing needs to have a specific goal and deliverable. So, next point. So, next one is the representation of phase development life cycle where we can observe many phases here. So, the first phase is planning, second phase analysis, third phase design, fourth phase development, fifth phase testing, sixth phase deployment and seventh phase as maintenance. So, the phase development life cycle starts with the phase of planning and ends with the phase of maintenance. So, planning. So, what is this planning deals with? So, in the planning phase, we are going to plan something relevant to the project or else we are going to schedule the things, we are going to monitor the things, everything regarding the project. Next, analysis. So, analysis in the sense, so what we have planned will be analyzed. Then, design. So, according to our plan and according to our analysis, we are going to have a system design. So, based on the system design, we are going to have the development. And based on the development, what we have developed needs to be tested. So, then we are moving on to the testing phase where we are testing the things in a clear-cut way, whether the developed thing is perfectly working or not. Next, it will be released, nothing but the deployment. And once if it is in a working condition, then it will be sent to the phase of maintenance. So, this is completely the representation of phase development life cycle. So, let us see in detail about them. So, first one, planning. So, this initial phase involves defining the project scope, objectives and requirements. So, it includes feasibility studies, risk assessment and high level planning. So, this is what we discussed. So, the initial phase will be involving defining the project scope. So, what is the scope of project, as well as objectives, objective of the project, as well as requirements, what were the requirements existing regarding the project. Next one, it includes feasibility studies, risk assessment and high level planning. So, it also involving the feasibility study and also it monitors regarding the risk assessment, what type of risk can we have regarding the project, and as well as it involves the high level planning. So, next one, requirement analysis. So, detailed requirements are gathered from the stakeholders, documented and to ensure a clear understanding of what the software needs to do. So, requirement analysis, detailed requirements are gathered from the stakeholders. So, requirement analysis in the sense, so the requirements what we have gathered from the stakeholders, what we have documented will be analyzed to ensure a clear understanding what exactly the software needs to do. So, what we want to have a particular outcome or else what we need to produce will be analyzed in a clear-cut way. So, based on the requirement analysis. Next one, design. So, based on the requirements, the software architecture, modules and interfaces are designed. So, based on the requirements, based on the software architecture, based on the modules, we are going to have the design phase. And this design phase will be involving two categories. One is high level design and the next one is low level design. So, next one, implementation, nothing but the development, so which can be called as well as coding. So in this, what happens is the actual code is written adhering to the design specifications and coding standards. So according to the coding standards, we are writing the actual code here. Next one, testing. So the software is thoroughly tested to identify and fix the bugs, ensuring it meets the specified requirements and functions correctly. So what happens in this testing phase? The software is thoroughly tested to identify and fix the bugs. So once we are done with the development phase, that means the coding phase is done. So definitely what we have coded needs to be tested. And in this testing phase, if there exist any issues or else if there exist any bugs, so those will be tested and those will be identified. And again, this will be sent back to the development team where they are going to rectify the bugs. They are going to release it back to the testing. So the next phase is deployment. So the software is released to the users and made available for use. So once the testing phase is done successfully, so if everything is in a working condition, then the software will be released to the users and it will be made available for public use. Maintenance. After deployment, the software is monitored, bugs are fixed, and updates or enhancements are made as needed. So once the product is entering into the deployment phase, then it will be sent for monitoring phase, nothing but the maintenance phase, where the software will be continuously monitored and bugs are fixed. So after deployment also, sometimes we can have some issues that arise in a public use. So if we are facing any type of issues in that particular phase, the bugs will be again fixed by the development team and again it will be tested and again it will be deployed, and updates and enhancements are made as per the requirements. So according to the requirements, according to the needs, updates or else any enhancements are there, that will be make sure happening. So these were the 7 phases existing in the software phased development life cycle. So at the end of the lecture, the student will be able to demonstrate the phased development life cycle. Thank you.